You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am excited to be here with you for another amazing episode of the African Father in America podcast. I am in Seattle, Washington, and we have an amazing African proverb that is from Malawi. Today we take a journey to Malawi, and this proverb is going to inform the bulk of our conversation today. We are going to have a short and sweet episode. I have 3 nuggets of wisdom to share with you, and I am going to share them down there with you in just a moment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. That's one of the biggest values that you can give as a subscriber. That's one of the ways you can support the growth of the African Father in America podcast, which brings African proverbs to you and dissects them and gives you African wisdom that really accompanies you throughout the day, throughout your life. And these are African proverbs that our ancestors left behind. So if you're someone who loves African culture, then you can't live without African proverbs. And this is why I personally embrace African proverbs. Every single day, the first thing I wake up, I find my favorite African proverb, and then I bring it out here for us to discuss it together with you. And so check this one out. This one says that to catch a cricket, one must move slowly. To catch a cricket, one must move slowly. Share with me your thoughts in the comments down below, and also share with me where in the world you are joining me for today's conversation. And also take just a minute and give this video a thumbs up. That's really, really important. Our proverb again says that to catch a cricket, one must move slowly. To catch a cricket, one must move slowly. You know, I grew up in Kisumu, Kenya, and when I was growing up, we did not have a lot of electricity available. In fact, my mother was one of the first people to bring electricity to our neighborhood, and it took a lot of time for her to be able to do that, and a lot of energy, a lot of connections, a lot of resources, and she also got a lot of haters because people were asking, how can a woman do this, you know? And so this duration when we had to be in the dark, we used to chase a lot of crickets in our neighborhood. As kids, we would run after crickets in the night and just play around with them. And sometime when you're lucky, you are able to catch a cricket. But sometime you ran into your friends, you fell down, you ran into a tree. It was just really beautiful growing up in Manyata, in Kisumu, back in the days. But as usual, whenever we have the African Father in America podcast, once I share the proverb, we talk about the 3 nuggets of wisdom, which are really, really important. In fact, I am working on a book that I'm going to be sharing with you that is grounded on these proverbs and the 3 nuggets of wisdom that we've been sharing with you over the last 3 years. I have been sharing these proverbs with you, you know. And so my hope is that in the next year, you know, you will be seeing that book. So also comment down below if you want a copy of these nuggets of wisdom and the book that has all these proverbs and links to all these episodes. Let me know, because my team and I have been diligently, you know, researching, finding the best proverbs with the highest level of education that can really, really enrich your life. So if you want to get a copy of the book, also comment down below, and my team and I will make sure you are amongst the first people to get a copy of it. So the 3 nuggets of wisdom related to today's proverb. Today I have no guest. You know, today I am the guest, you know. I also love having guests here. Like yesterday, our guest was Peter Gishuru, literally one of the first Africans to ever move to the Pacific Northwest. This is the part of the US where I live, and just having this elder who also started the African Chamber of Commerce of the Pacific Northwest, having him on the show yesterday, for me was really moving, So for a while, I was even unable to ask him questions. I was just a student listening to him engage us and share with us his story of how he grew up in Kenya before independence, how he was able to find a family that could host him here in Seattle, how he was able to raise his own, find his own connections, how he was inspired by other young men in the community at the time. And if you listen to that episode, it's yesterday's episode, and if you are subscribed to the channel, you can literally go to the latest video on the channel that was published yesterday, and you'll be able to really learn how the British also destroyed our community in Kenya, because someone like Mr. Gishuru was moved from his community to another community, and then moved from that community to another community, and they were literally asked, do you know someone in this village? If you don't know someone in the next village where you're being taken, you will be taken to another village where you probably don't know anyone. So it was like complete destruction. Imagine you and your family being moved from your hometown to another country, and the only thing you're being asked is, do you know anybody who lives there? And if you do, good, then you're being housed with that person. If you don't, then you'll have to build a new community, new friends, new everything. I'm seeing a lot of you have already joined us. Shamir, thank you so much. I'll be reading all these comments. Make sure you drop your comment there, where you're joining us from, what today's proverb means to you. I'm just going to put the proverb on the screen one more time in order for those who did not see it to take a look. It says that to catch a cricket, one must move slowly. Now, these are the 3 nuggets of wisdom related to this proverb. Hold on for a second. These are the 3 nuggets of wisdom related to this proverb. The first one says that patience is key. When we are patient, we are more likely to make sound decisions and avoid rushing into things. This is something I deal with, with producing this podcast every single day. Over the last 3 years, I have learned that I don't have enough subscribers, and one of the lessons I've learned is about 75% of people who watch the videos on this channel love the content, but they're not subscribers. So my goal is to get that number down maybe to 50% in the next few weeks. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to help us reduce the number of viewers who are not subscribers. So I am patient, and I'm not rushing into looking for subscribers desperately, because I know the value of the content that we are bringing here, the value of the conversations that we are bringing here, and also how delicate these proverbs are. These are literally words from our ancestors, and not just from Kenya, where I come from, but today we are in Malawi. We are really dissecting words from someone who was in Malawi. Those of us who grew up in Africa, we could hear our parents use these proverbs all the time. And so I'm a beneficiary of the wisdom from these proverbs. And that's why I love this first nugget of wisdom. Patience is key to success. When we are patient, we are more likely to make sound decisions and avoid rushing into things. Even on social media these days, some of us just want to have 1 million followers overnight. We are not willing to work for it. Some of us want to get rich because we saw somebody that we know driving a Mercedes Benz. We don't know how they got it, and so patience is what this proverb is reminding us about. Number 2, the second nugget of wisdom: slow and steady wins the race. Like slow and steady. If you're slow and steady, you might end up winning the race. Over the last few weeks, I've been seeing Eliud Kipchoge, who is the greatest marathon runner of all time. Maybe for the last 15 plus weeks, he has been training for just one race. He has just been training for the Berlin Marathon. And every day on his social media platforms, on YouTube, I've been seeing different people documenting his training regimen, and what I'm learning from this proverb is that if you're slow and steady, eventually you will win. So if you follow the work of Eliud Kipchoge, the greatest marathon runner of all time from Kenya, you see that during his training period, he's actually running slower than when he runs the actual marathons. And he's building his muscles, he's building his patience, he's building his mental capacity until he gets to a place where he wins all these marathons. So even if we are not the fastest or most talented, we can achieve our goals if we are patient and persistent. With my YouTube channel here in the African Father in America podcast, I know that I'm not the greatest comedian. I know that I don't have a lot of controversial topics to bring to you. But what I do know is that I'm patient, I'm persistent, and I'm consistent. And what this proverb is teaching us is that this kind of move, the slow and steady pace, actually will help me and will help you, my community, win whatever race you're in. So I would ask you to apply this to your life as well. Just take it slow and steady. Don't give yourself a heart attack by trying to achieve things that other people achieved in 10 years. You want to achieve it in 10 days. Number 3, this is the last nugget of wisdom. Good things take time. It is important to remember that success does not happen overnight. It takes effort, it takes time, and also it takes a lot of dedication to achieve our goals. When you think about it, I use myself as an example because I don't want to give you examples of things that I don't know. I am most familiar with myself and the things that I do. So another example that, is a good thing that has taken time is the Madaraka Festival. This is the 9th year of producing the Madaraka Festival. Next year we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary. And, until this year, many people didn't even really know Madaraka Festival. Many people outside of Seattle and Kenya didn't really appreciate the impact that the Madaraka Festival was having. But now I know, nobody needs to tell me. I know the value of what Madaraka Festival represents. I know that we are actually changing the world one music festival at a time. We have an incredible education, music and art program in Kenya that directly benefits from each and every attendee of Madaraka Festival. When you pay for your ticket, at least $1 goes to supporting the growth of the education, music and art program in Kenya. And now the program is growing beyond Kenya to Uganda and Tanzania. And soon we will be in Rwanda, we will be in Congo. And who knows, maybe in the next 10 years, we will be all over Africa, where we will be having Madaraka festivals all over Africa. We will be having the education, music and art program all over the world. We have a very big vision, but we started in the slums of Kenya. I grew up in Manyata, in the slum of one of the biggest slums in Kenya. And that's where I started producing events. I had no idea that one day I will be here talking to you about Madaraka Festival, which is now the biggest African festival in the US. Last year I was on CNN just because of this festival. I had no idea such a thing would ever happen. So I would encourage you that if you have something good that you're doing, it might look small right now, but just keep working on it and stay consistent. Don't listen to what other people are telling you about whatever you're doing looks like. If you're trying to be a great soccer player, practice every day. Practice even for 10 minutes. Juggle the ball, balance. If you want to be a marathon runner like Eliud Kipchoge, run every day. Run, at least half of the distance that a marathon takes. And over time, make sure you run at least the entire marathon a couple of times a week. If you want to be a graphic designer, even make free designs for people so that you get feedback. If you want to be a musician, get on stages, get on stages even for free. spend a lot of time with great musicians than you. And who knows, before you know it, whatever you're working on might be greater than what you think. So those are our 3 nuggets of wisdom for today. And before we continue on, I'm going to read some of the comments that I see here that have been shared. But I want to just share with you one more thing. There is an amazing event. There are 2 amazing events that I'm producing. One is happening at the end of this month. The Africa Day Business Forum is happening on the 30th of September at the Motif Hotel in downtown Seattle. This is the 23rd year of this event. So go to Eventbrite and find the Africa Day Business Forum and join us. It's from 8:30 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is going to be an all-day event where there will be networking opportunities, promotion of bilateral trade between Africa and the Pacific Northwest. One of the things I'm excited to see on September 30th is this company that produces electric buses in Portland, which is not too far from Seattle. And they'll bring one of their buses. They're testing this, electric bus, and they're trying to get it to the African market. So there's also a company that makes electric boats and ferries that are also trying to get it to the African market. So if you want to see these kind of things, this is the event you should come to. Then I also want to talk about the Madaraka, the Taste of Madaraka, the Taste of Madaraka Festival dinner series. The one for the September 17th already happened. Now there is one coming up on October 15th, and I want you to also go to Eventbrite and get your ticket. This one is a smaller event with fewer seats, and I just want you to get your ticket sooner than later because they are going to sell out. So with these few comments, remarks, stories, events, and everything that I've shared with you, I just want to remind you one more time, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That is one of the biggest endorsements you can actually give me as a creator, as someone who is bringing you this show every Monday to Friday. I don't get paid by anyone else for doing this, but by you helping me grow my YouTube channel, by you engaging with my content across the other platforms where I am, that is how I feel like I'm being appreciated for my effort, And also, when you do that, you allow me to support my team. I have a team of incredible creatives in Kenya that are helping me produce this podcast, So by you, engaging with the content, subscribing to my YouTube channel, it allows us to actually continue doing this work. So I just want to thank you one more time. In today's episode, we were able to really dive into an amazing proverb from Malawi, and it says, to catch a cricket, one must move slowly, and we summarized this in 3 different nuggets of wisdom that are now available on YouTube. In just a few minutes, you can listen to this podcast while you're driving to work. It will be available on Apple, on Amazon, on all podcasting platforms. So thank you again for taking the time. Oh, before I go, I am going to read these comments so that we just give a shout out to those who took a minute to comment on today's episode. Shamir Tadea is a brother and is a great friend of mine, and also our producer in Kenya. He's the producer at the One Vibe Studio in Kisumu, Kenya, and really one of the most talented reggae artists in Kenya. So Shamir is saying here to collect, Kazi Safi, Wisdom Unlimited. I'm joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so much, Shamir. I really, really appreciate your presence and your continued support. Now, if you want to comment here, I'll be able to reply to your comment. I literally reply to every comment on this YouTube channel. So don't be afraid to engage. If you watch it, comment, I'll personally be responding to every single comment. Again, thank you, and have a beautiful day. I will be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, same vibration.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.